Okay, here's the plan. I'm going to make two highly rated versions of the same vegan dish. My wife will then perform a blind taste test and tell us which one is the best of the best. Today, it's vegan mashed potatoes. We got Chef John's olive oil mashed potatoes versus Rainbow Plant Life's Miso mashed potatoes. But which one is superior? Let's find out when I cook for my vegan wife. Okay, let's get this show on the road with some olive oil mashed potatoes from Chef John of Food Wishes. And for that, we're going to need some russet potatoes. And straight off the bat, russet potatoes just don't seem to be a thing anywhere in Europe. So I chucked a few of the local varieties available to me in the ever-accurate AI. And basically, the closest thing to russet in Slovenia is a variety called Melody. So I got to use those. Now, this recipe is really, really simple. So while you follow along, I got a question for you. What do you serve your mashed potatoes with? I feel like a vegan Christmas dinner is an obvious answer, but what else you got? Or do you just eat them straight out of the bowl on their own, which is perfectly valid. Okay, once they're all peeled, we'll get rid of these skins, and if you want, you can chuck them in your air fryer with some salt, some pepper, a little oil. Delicious. Get those into even-sized chunks, and they go into a pot and are covered with cold water, and you need about an extra inch on top of that, and then back to the chopping board to smush up some garlic. Now I halved this recipe because we really don't need 12 portions of potatoes tonight, and the full recipe calls for 2 cloves in total. So I should be going with 1 clove, but my garlic was pretty small, so I went for 3 cloves, so just so you know if you're interested in that. Okay, they go into the pot with a bunch of salt, and then we're going to bring that up to the boil with a weird close-up of my finger here, and then bring that down to a simmer. Now it's supposed to take about 20 to 25 minutes, but it actually took me closer to 35 minutes to get the texture I need, which is this. Very soft, almost falling apart, nearly overcooked. And then I'm just going to drain those off camera because my sink isn't very clean at the moment, and then mash them up good, real good. Now we're going to have to whisk in just a load of olive oil. We'll do it in 2 rounds, and you want to whisk this up until it's really nice and smooth like this. Give it a little taste and add in a bit more salt if you need it. Whisk that up again, and that's it. We're done here. We'll just serve this up with big heaping scoops into a bowl, get a little bit of fork action in there to give it some texture, then an extra final drizzle of olive oil. And as we move on, please subscribe if you're liking this so far. Okay, Rainbow Plant Life's recipe is a little bit more involved, so we're going to first start off by roasting a whole bulb of garlic. And I've already got rid of some of that papery crap on the outside, so I'm just going to chop off this little top and then chop it again because I kind of missed somehow. And as I said, this is a bit more involved, but at the end of the day, we're still only making mashed potatoes, so it's actually pretty straightforward. Next, we got this little bit of tin foil here, so I'm just going to place it on top and then drizzle over some olive oil. Wrap it up and chuck it in the oven for about 45 minutes or so. And while that cooks, we'll prepare our potatoes. So one of the big differences here is Rainbow Plant Life uses a mixture of 2 different types of potatoes. We got russet and Yukon Gold. Now, I've already explained the russet situation in Slovenia, and Yukon Gold is no different. So my AI overlord told me to use Maribel instead. And just to save a bit of time here, I'm only going to show a little bit of this because it's basically the same process. They go in the pot with cold water as well. There's a lot less salt here, but again, they get brought up to the boil, as you can see. And then they need to go down to a simmer as well. And while they cook, let's bring out that garlic, which actually kind of burnt my fingers a little bit, so I need to let it cool. Okay, nice. We'll get rid of this rubbish around the side. And basically, we just want to squeeze this into a bowl, which is actually quite satisfying. It all comes out pretty easily. And then we need to use a fork to smush that down even further into a paste. Now we're going to add in some vegan butter and a generous amount of white miso paste as well. Then that gets all stirred together and goes off to the side, which lets us go back to our potatoes. They just need no resistance with a fork, which is what I've got here. So let's drain these off. Again, slight difference in the recipe here. We're going to get them back into the pot and cook them on a really low temperature. And the idea is to try to get rid of excess moisture. But I gotta say, keep them moving because they started to stick almost instantly. And I got a little bit nervous there, so I stopped after about 2 minutes because I really didn't want to make 3 batches of potatoes in one night. The method seems to work, but just be careful. Okay, cool. That can get out of the way. We'll bring in a pot and then we'll pour in that miso butter we made earlier on. And wait a second, why didn't I just use the pot in the first place? Why am I putting this into a small bowl, then into a pot? The small bowl is unnecessary. The small bowl is redundant. The small bowl is just extra washing up. Anyway, cook that on a low temperature until it's nearly melted and then add in some coconut milk. And you gotta whisk this, but don't let it boil. Also, add in some pepper at this point. See that's probably about as hot as you want it. So we'll take that off the heat and go back to our potatoes now. And we're also going to mash these by hand. She's very specific about not using a blender or an immersion blender or anything like that. And I respect that. It's the right move. She actually recommends a potato ricer if you have one, but I don't. So once that's nice and smooth, these still warm potatoes are going to need that miso butter mixture. And we're going to fold that in with a rubber spatula 1/3 at a time. And that's looking great. Very tasty looking. She says to add extra salt and pepper if you want. And after giving a little taste, yeah, I'll add some of those. Why not? I'll serve these up and then throw my fork around there a little bit to give it some texture, and she recommends putting some chives on top. Now, I didn't actually get any chives because I found out that chives aren't great for pigeons, and he'll be there during the taste test. But I assume your household is pigeon free, so go nuts. And that's it, both mashed potatoes done and dusted, but which one tastes better? Let's send them over to my friendly wife for a taste test.
Okay, I'll try this first. It looks nice. It's very nice. There's definitely olive oil in here. It's very olive oily. In a good way.
Okay, so I messed up here. I apologize. As you can see, this microphone is facing the wrong way. So in my infinite wisdom, I came in to try to fix it. And somehow when I did, I turned the sound off. There is no sound for the rest of the taste test. So we thought about reshooting it, but we realized that would come across as not true and kind of fake because it would have been. So instead, here's a summary of what my wife tasted. Enjoy.
So, as I remember, I like the olive oil ones a lot. They were really kind of like smooth. The texture was really nice. The texture was quite light, and the taste was like strong. Like it was nice and salty. Like not too salty, good amount of salt. Yeah, it was very olive oily, which I really like because I really like olive oil. They were just really nice, like kind of rounded, nice. Like I would have them on their own, maybe like with some veggies, but they could like stand well alone. Yeah, you said that in the olive oil ones there was garlic, but I didn't really taste the garlic. I think I'd like them better if they were more garlicky. Because they're so like olive oily, I think if you don't like olive oil, then maybe they're not the best. But if you like olive oil, then they're really nice. And then for the miso ones, yeah, I had big expectations, but they didn't reach them. I guess they were nice, like they were nice potatoes, but I think they would need something else with them to be able to, for them to be nice. Like they would need a flavor. Well, I really like miso. Like I like miso, everything with miso. And I thought they would just taste more like miso. I thought there was going to be a stronger taste, and I couldn't really taste it. It was not bad texture. It was like they were a bit more dense and dry, but not like they weren't. That sounds like bad, but they were still fluffy and stuff. But they just weren't as smooth, I guess. Yeah, I guess like with the other ones had so much oil that would make them really smooth. And the miso ones didn't have that, so they were still good. But definitely a winner for me would be olive oil ones. Thank you for watching and check out our other videos.